Okay, so we're ready to pour these footings. Concrete truck's on its way. I'll give you a little rundown of what we got here. 16-inch wide, 8 inches deep, 3 sets of rebar. I have these verticals every 4 foot. So verticals every 4 feet is not really enough. When I'm putting the foundation on, I'm going to put uprights every 2 foot, and they're going to be drilled and epoxied in to the footing. So I'm going to have both. You really don't need both. You only need one or the other, but I like to do both of them. So after we poured the forms, I went back a few hours later and I took the blocks off the top, and that was so that I could smooth out those areas that the blocks were in, because they usually have ups and downs in them. So it's better to get them out and smooth them out if you can. You can't always do it if the concrete truck comes too late in the day, but if you can, it's nice to get those ridges up, because when you set the forms on it, then the forms will be sticking up like 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch here and there. And most guys won't worry about that, but I don't want to have that on my walls if I can help it. And so over here, this is some extra concrete that we had. It looks like a lot, but it should only be about 1/2 yard. I always calculate this to be as close as I can, but I bump it up to the next 1/2 yard. I just cleared out enough over here to get the footing drains in still, and that's all I really care about. Over here is just going to be filled in, so it doesn't make any difference to have it there.
Oh, it's
first thing you do is put this one through and make sure it doesn't not go into this. That's how you know. I wonder if there's some sort of like non-stick paint you can paint these with. Explain what these holes are for. So I can screw the board. I'm gonna have to just run it past while I'm there. Okay. Yep. Perfect. Yeah. Let's run down the line and do that again. All right, that's good. Yeah. A little bit more.
Right here.
All right. A little bit more. Well, we got this poured. I'm here kind of late because the truck didn't arrive till later in the day, so I'm just making sure this is smoothed out before I leave. I just decided to go ahead and use the J-bolts this time. They got to be a foot from each corner and every 6 feet from there. So this is the day after the pour, and last night we got some rain. But yeah, it's pretty flooded. Pumping the water out now. So it's a good thing that we are well on our way to getting these footing drains done, because that's what we really need right now. So we're going to start stripping these forms, cleaning them off as we go. And the best way to do that is with a pressure washer and a hammer. But when I put that footing drain in here, there will be no more water. What we did was put a coat of tar on, then we put some poly plastic on there, and you do it while it's still wet and it sticks to it, and then you put another layer over top. We're gonna have a sump pump, and then on the outside I'm gonna put some footing drains in right there. That's where the exit's gonna go to open air. So again, you can see I got all the different sizes here. I got 3s, 4s, 5s, and those are all 2 foot, but then I also have some thinner pieces that you can use, like these ones here, like that's 12 inch, I believe that's 16 inch, 18 inch, and then I have 20 inch pieces, and I also have the smaller pieces, which they're kind of buried right now, but like there's a 3 inch piece. I have 2 inch, so I have 2, 3, 4, And I don't think I have any 5s, but I have 6-inch pieces. And those are just solid steel, and then after 6 inches they go to plywood in the middle. So these are really called like a steel ply kind of form. And these meet up with symon forms. And I do actually have a bunch of actual symon forms too. And these will actually link up with the symon forms. But they're very similar in style. They also have these holes here for a different sort of snap tie. The hardware. So as far as the hardware, we have 2 different styles of whaler brackets. These are one, and it also goes with this loop here. So this loop here gets hooked up to a wedge, and it goes through there and through the form, and then this holds the 2x4 in there, and then you beat the wedge down and it tightens it up. So that's one sort of whaler bracket that I have. I think these other whaler brackets are actually quicker though. So this is the other style that you probably saw us using. So you clip this in right here into the form, and then you tighten down on this. And I've put one 2x4 in here and one 2x4 up there, and that works. But I also have done it the way I did it this time, which is just put 2 on the top and screw them together with a few screws. So the whaler brackets hold everything nice and tight, and the whalers also give you the ability to anchor down the foundation so it doesn't move while you're pouring it. But the wedges, when you put them in here, that makes them line up together so that they're flush with each other. These are the corner pieces here, so you can see they're very similar to how everything else works. It's kind of a a whole system that you can use. And these corners, they actually are under a lot of pressure when you're pouring, so they do their job pretty well. You can see that we took the plastic and wrapped it around the footing and down again. So this layer of plastic will help protect this wall better while you're backfilling it. Really, we weren't too worried about how the foundation looks, because the only thing that's going to be showing on this foundation is the top 6 inches on the outside. So on the inside, the foam is going to be going from floor to ceiling. I always tell people that if there's going to be a lot of foundation exposed, I can always parge it in. The way that these snap ties are designed is that the snapping point is usually a 1/4 inch back into the concrete so that none of it sticks out. And we're just going to put styrofoam right here, but it's a good idea to get the snap ties off anyways. Like, you could put the styrofoam over the snap ties, but then you'll end up with these rust spots all over the place. So it's better not to. Over in this corner here, I'm just going to put a couple more blocks and take out that temporary post there, and then that will have a solid foundation underneath of this side of the house. But you never really want to pour concrete up against wood or really underneath of it. You always want to leave some space so that you can put your wood underneath of it afterwards and then shim it up. So you can see over there what we did. We took 6x6s and stacked them on each other, and it was really uneven the way it was before, so we had to use some shims and various pieces to go up and down where it needed. But now that's fully supported, and this will be 2. And that's what we have to do to make this addition. This addition is 18 by 24, and it started out as 15 by 20. So the next thing we're going to do is the drainage, and that'll be in the next video. We're going to start on that today, and once the drainage is done, get it inspected, and then we can backfill, and then we will work on the slab on the inside. And then once the slab is done, we can start working on the floor. And the floor on this is going to be a recessed system. Basically, the top of the floor is going to be close to the height of the top of the concrete.